quickie, quickie, quickie to all you at home from us here at Belgrade Public Library. In fact, this little duck is a library duck. It's reading a romance novel. Yes, it is. It says it right there. And it's got its cute little hairdo with its glasses. Yes, I used to get these at school. Anyway, this is our mascot today because all our stories, well, both I should say, and our craft have to do with ducks. Now, why ducks? You might wonder. Ducks because, of course, we've been having our fair share of rain, haven't we? Because April showers will bring us May flowers. And I saw some flowers coming in today to do this video. Yay! Oh, wait, I have something even more fun. Get ready. Get ready, Jared cameraman. This might be loud. Yay! I love this. We'll use this a bit today. Yes, we will. Okay, so our two duck stories, they are Duckalicious. And this one is David Shannon's Duck on a Bike. It is very funny. Very funny. And the pictures are great. David Shannon is also the illustrator or the person that draws the pictures. Excuse me. And then I had to come back with the classics. Oh, Make Way for Duckling, Robert McCloskey. This is such a great book, written first in the late 1940s. But it is just as fresh today as the day it was published. Okay? Yeah? Okay. Oh, we're excited. We are. Oh, we're excited. Okay, so to get ready today, I found some jokes. You ready? All right, here's my first one. I had to write it down because they just don't stay. All right, here we go. Okay, why do ducks make good detectives? Why do ducks make good detectives? Because they always quack the case. Isn't that so funny? That's so funny. Stay tuned. I have more. But for now, let's look at, oh, I better take it off in case I forget. All right, let's look at David Shannon's Duck on a Bike, because really it is a very funny book, and it is super well loved here at the library. It gets taken out plenty, and after today, it's going to be back, so you can come get it. Oh, okay, here we go. One day down on the farm, Duck got a wild idea. I bet I could ride a bike, he thought. He waddled over to where the boy parked his bike, climbed on, and began to ride. At first, he rode very slowly, and he wobbled a lot, but it was fun. So, see, it's a farmyard. So the farmyard animals will all play a part in this story. So here he goes, a very adventurous duck out on the boy's bike. Duck rode past Cow and waved at her. "Hello, Cow," said Duck. "Moo," said Cow. But what she thought was, a duck on a bike? That's the silliest thing I'd ever seen. Great pictures. Then Duck rode past Sheep. "Hello, Sheep," said Duck. "Bah," said Sheep. But what she thought was, he's gonna hurt himself if he's not careful. Duck was riding better now. He rode past Dog. "Hello, Dog," said Duck. "Woof," said Dog. But what he thought was, that is a mighty neat trick. See, he's all excited chasing him. Wishes he had a bike. I love this picture. Then Duck rode past Cat. "Hello, Cat," said the duck. "Meow," said Cat. But what she thought was, I wouldn't waste my time riding a bike. Because that's cats, right? Cats do what cats want to do when they want to do it. Duck pedaled a little faster. He rode past Horse. Hello, Horse, said Duck. Nay, said Horse. But what he thought was, you're still not as fast as me, Duck. Look, he's even snarling at him. He's giving he's giving him the face. Duck rang his bell as he rode towards Chicken. Hello, Chicken, said Duck. Cluck, cluck, said the Chicken. But what she thought was, watch where you're going, Duck. That one makes me laugh. Look, he's about to get her feathers all flying up in the air. Then Duck rode past Goat. Hello, Goat, said Duck. Meh, said Goat. But what he thought was, I'd like to eat that bike. Because goats will eat almost anything. Duck stood on the seat and rode past Pig and Pig. So two pigs, and they're in the mud, right? They're wallowing in the mud. Hello, pigs, said Duck. Oink, said Pig and Pig. But what they thought was, Duck is such a show-off. See, because he's doing the 1 foot. He's doing an arabesque from the seat. Then Duck rode no hands past Mouse. Hello, Mouse, said Duck. Squeak, said Mouse. But what he thought was, I wish I could ride a bike just like Duck. See, he's looking up to Duck. That's his hero. Suddenly, a whole bunch of kids came down the road on their bikes, and they were in such a hurry they didn't see Duck. They parked their bikes by the house and went inside. Oh boy, look at him. One even on his tricycle, going super fast. He's dressed up like a cowboy. See him? He's all done up. Okay, now, jeez, they're going to leave Duck in the dust, I think. Then, okay, look at all the animals looking at the bikes that are parked there at the farm. What do you think they're going to want to do? You know what they're going to do. They're all going to try riding bikes, even on the tricycle. Now, all the farm animals had bikes. They rode around and around the barnyard. Oh, this is fun, they all said. Good idea, Duck. Look, it's a bike for two for the pigs. Then they put the bikes back by the house, and no one knew that on that afternoon there had been a cow, a sheep, a dog, a cat, a horse, a chicken, a goat, 2 pigs, a mouse, and a duck on a bike. The end. Oh, that's such a great story. Oh, we love that one, don't we? Oh, well, okay, never mind. All right, okay. Well, just in time for another fun little duck joke. Okay, ready? I love this one. I'm going to laugh right out loud. I know it. Okay. When does a duck get up in the morning? When does a duck get up in the morning? Well, of course, at the quack of dawn. Oh, that is silly. Oh, this one gave me an idea about one more. You ready? Okay. Why does the duck cross the road? Why does the duck cross the road? To show the chicken how to do it. That's how come he crosses the road. All right, enough of that. All right, okay, you ready? Are you ready for another story? Yep, we're ready. All right, here we go. Make Way for Ducklings, Robert McCloskey. Probably McCloskey, that's my fault. And the pictures are in black and white because the copyright of this story is 1941. That's a long time ago, eh? Yes, it is. 20 years before, let's see, 21. Oh boy, yeah, 80 plus years ago. Whoa. So when we show you the pictures, you know, when Mr. Jared, the cameraman and editor, does his job, and he'll slice right in these pictures, take a good look. There is some detailed look at, but I mean the black and white's just different for us. Mr. and Mrs. Mallard. Now a mallard is kind of a duck. Mallard were looking for a place to live, but every time Mr. Mallard saw what looked like a nice place, Mrs. Mallard said it was no good. They were sure to be foxes in the woods or turtles in the water, and she was not going to raise her family where there might be foxes or turtles. So they flew on. This story takes place in the city of Boston, right? The big city to our south. Well, one of the big cities to our south. When they got to Boston, they felt too tired to fly any further, and there was a nice pond in the public garden with a little island on it. The very place to spend the night, quacked Mr. Mallard, so they flapped down. Well, it really says so down they flapped, and I flipped it around. Next morning, big book, next morning, they fished for their breakfast in the mud at the bottom of the pond. But they didn't find much. Now, this is a city scene, right? It's the park. But here's people on the benches all around the park, reading newspapers, taking bike rides, out for walks. And it's definitely looking like a spring day because the buds are just coming on the trees, just like here. So it's definitely a spring story. Just as they were getting ready to start on their way, a strange, enormous bird came by. It was pushing a boat full of people, and there was a man sitting on its back. "Good morning," quacked Mr. Mallard, being polite. The big bird was too proud to answer. But the people on the boat threw peanuts into the water, so the Mallards followed them all around the pond and got another breakfast better than the first. Okay, so these are called duck boat rides down in Boston. I've always wanted to do one and I haven't, but that's what they're doing. So the Mallards thought this was a real bird, but it's a boat. "I like this place," said Mrs. Mallard as they climbed out of the bank and waddled along. "Why don't we build a nest and raise our ducklings right in this pond? There are no foxes, no turtles, and the people feed us peanuts. What could be better?" "Good," said Mr. Mallard, delighted at last that Mrs. Mallard had found a place that suited her. But, always a but. "Look out!" squawked Mrs. Mallard, all of a dither. "You'll get run over." And when she got her breath, she added, "This is no place for babies. With all these horrid things rushing about, we'll have to look somewhere else." So see, it's a boy on his bicycle going as fast as he can. Just like our other story on bicycles. But no, they do not want to stay there for their babies. Well, on they go on the search. They flew over Beacon Hill and round the State House, but there was no place there. So these are some of the, remember the word landmark, we used that back in the Easter story. These are some of the landmarks in Boston, some of the important buildings. And they're flying over trying to see where they're going to go. They looked at Louisburg Square, but there was no water to swim in. These are all the brown houses, right? Brown stones, I should say. Excuse me, not brown houses. Silly. They flew over the Charles River. "This is better," quacked Mrs. Mallard. "That island looks like a nice, quiet place, and it's only a little ways from the public garden." "Yes," said Mrs. Mallard, remembering the peanut. "That looks just like the right place to hatch ducklings." Okay, so the Charles River is very busy right in the heart of Boston. Let's see what happens. So they chose a cozy spot among the bushes near the water and settled down to build their nest. And only just in time, for now they were beginning to molt. So to molt means that their feathers are starting to come out, okay? All their old wing feathers started to drop out, and they would not be able to fly again until the new ones grew in. Seems like a way to get ready from like wintertime to springtime, to get like rid of your old feathers. But of course, they could swim, and one day they swam over to the park on the riverbank, and there they met a policeman called Michael. Michael fed them peanuts, and after that the mallards called on Michael every day. Okay, so here's the police station in the back, and they're back over in the park, over in the garden area, and now they have a new friend. They have Michael the policeman. They like their free lunch or breakfast. After Mrs. Mallard had laid 8 eggs in the nest, she couldn't go visit Michael anymore because she had to sit on the eggs to keep them warm. She moved off the nest only to get a drink of water or to have her lunch or to count the eggs and make sure they were all of them, that they were all there, all 8 of them. One day the ducklings hatched out. First came Jack, and then Cack, and then Lack, and then Mack, and Knack, and Whack, and Pack, and Quack. They all rhyme, see? Mr. and Mrs. Mallard were bursting with pride. It was a great responsibility taking care of so many ducklings, and it kept them very busy. Look at how cute. Remember the title says, Make Way for Ducklings. One day, Mr. Mallard decided he'd like to take a trip to see what the rest of the river was like further on. So off he set. I'll meet you in a week in the public garden. Remember, that's where they were going to get their peanuts, right? He quacked over his shoulder, Take good care of the ducklings. Don't you worry, said Mrs. Mallard. I know all about bringing up children. And she did. She taught them how to swim and dive. Oh, look at him. This fella's bottoms up, right? He's getting ready to do his diving. Maybe you like to dive in the water. Okay, she's been a good mummy. She's been a good mummy duck. She taught them to walk in line, to come when they were called, and to keep a safe distance from bikes and scooters and other things with wheels. See? So they're following their mummy. When at last she felt perfectly satisfied with them, she said one morning, Come along, children, follow me. Before you could wink an eyelash, Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack fell into line just as they had been taught. Mrs. Mallard led the way into the water, and they swam behind her to the opposite bank. Okay? Remember, this river can be busy. There they waded ashore and waddled along until they came to the highway. Now, if you look closely, you can definitely tell the age of this story, because our cars don't really have that same shape anymore, right? This is back in the 1940s. So now, even though this was super busy, I bet it's even busier and faster now, as far as the road. Mrs. Mallard stepped out to cross the road. Honk, honk, went the horns on the speeding cars. Quack, went Mrs. Mallard as she tumbled back again. Quack, 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 went Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack, just as loud as their little quackers could quack. The cars kept speeding by and honking, and Mrs. Mallard and the ducklings kept right on quack, quack, quacking. Must have been quite a little noisy pile-up. They made such a noise that Michael came running with his arms and blowing his whistle. Right? He's saying, "Stop, stop." He planted himself in the center of the road, raised one hand to stop the traffic, and then beckoned with the other the way policemen do for Mrs. Mallet to cross over. See, so she's getting ready and her little ducklings are following her, and Michael's going to get them to safety. As soon as Mrs. Mallet and the ducklings were safe on the other side and on their way down Mount Vernon Street, Michael rushed back to his police booth. Oh, you can tell he is very much on the run right here, right? He's going to protect those poor ducks. He called Clancy at the headquarters and said, "There's a family of ducks walking down the street." Clancy said, "A family of what?" "Ducks," yelled Michael. "Send a police car, quick." Oh boy, big doings today in Boston. Meanwhile, Mrs. Mallet had reached the corner bookshop and turned onto Charles Street with Jack, Cack, Black, Mac, Knack, Whack, Pack, and Quack all marching in line behind her. And see, the people are all peeking out with smiles. I mean, how can you not smile at those cute little ducks? Everyone stared, and old lady from Beacon Hill said, "Isn't it amazing?" And the man who swept the street said, "Well, now, ain't that nice?" And when Mrs. Mallet heard them, she was so proud, she tipped her nose in the air and walked along with an extra swing in her waddle. Those are her babies. She's feeling happy. I gotta switch arms here. When they came to the corner of Beacon Street, there was the police car with 4 policemen that Clancy had sent from the headquarters. The policemen held back the traffic so that Mrs. Mallet and the ducklings could march across the street. This is quite a picture, okay? So they're stopping traffic in all directions to let the ducklings cross. You wonder if that would happen today. Right into the public garden. Inside the gate, they all turned around to say thank you to the policeman, like quack, 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 right? That's probably how they say thank you. The policeman smiled and waved goodbye. Oh, yes, look at them all, a quack, 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 quack. You can just hear them right now, right? Going all crazy. When they reached the pond and swam across to the little island, there was Mr. Mallet waiting for them, just as he promised, right there on the rock, waiting for his family. The ducklings liked the new island so much that they decided to live there. All day long, they follow the swan boats and eat peanuts. So here's that swan boat filled with people, and here's the ducklings. Okay? And when night falls, they swim to their little island and go to sleep. Make way for ducklings. Make way for ducklings. Now, of course, I was inspired. I was filled with duck thoughts. And so for our craft, we are going to, in fact, make our own, maybe, movable ducks. So ready? Round of applause for the 2 stories. Yay! Great stories! And in a minute, we will meet you, of course, where else? At the blue table. See you in a minute. Well, welcome to the duck table, everybody. Woohoo! Look, you can even do the duck dance. Oh, he's starting to fall down. Oh, silly me. Okay. Well, of course, yes. How fun is our little friend the duck? He got a little squished in my bag, but he's okay. He's all right. Yeah. Well, let me show you how to make him. It's all about circles. So the white circles you'll have in your kit, you're going to have white and yellow. So the white paper is thicker. So what you want to do, you can do this craft pretty much all alone. I don't know if you need any help at all. Depends how big you are. But you want to give that a nice coating with your glue stick. And then you will see the lines, the kind of blue-black line where I did the cutting out. But if you flip it, then nobody will know that there was already some lines there. And then you keep the two together and let them glue up, right? The same will happen for what's going to be his little face. There's some blue lines. Glue down here. Flip this so nobody can tell that there were blue lines. Let that dry a minute. Doesn't take long, especially if you have this type glue stick. Depends on what you use. So, in a matter of moments, you're going to be able to take the two yellow circles. This is his belly, or her belly, and that's the face. And so you glue these two together. Yeah, okay. Now, I want to talk about how I did my choice of the wings. So these actually are muffin papers, right? Like if you're making cupcakes or muffins. And they make great little wings. So what I did, I went ahead and I first colored mine with a yellow marker. So it depends what color you want the wings to be. So whatever color you want your little duck wings to be, I would personally color them first, but that's up to you. Anyway, once they're ready, then you glue them right onto the front. Now I did this. I pushed the paper back, excuse me, and I started cutting little slits so that you got this kind of feather look. Okay, your choice. You can keep them any darn way you want them. Oh yeah, all right, so now we're up to here, and now comes my favorite part, his little quacker. So, it's all folded for you, but here's the thing. If you want to make, well, you decide how you want the top to be shaped. You can have it fun like this. You can have all kinds of whatever shape you want. But if you make a solid flat surface in the back, see, like mine, it's flat back there. So that's where I glued it, and then I can shape that any way I want to make it more realistic. Oh, yeah, I colored this one first too, before I put it on, because then I would make the face all messy. So yeah, so I colored that first, I forgot that. Okay, now if you look at ducks, they always have these two little breathe holes on the top, so I put those to make it more realistic. And then in your kit, you'll have the big bug eyes, whatever color I happen to put in your kit. And then I thought it was fun to put some fun eyelashes, so I did. Now, this is where you're going to need some help if you want to do what I did with like the ability to put your little fingers in there and dance the afternoon away. You're going to have mom, dad, or somebody big help you. So, your fingers will not be as big as my fingers, so I didn't want to make the holes because that just wouldn't have worked for you. So if you want to do that, mom, dad, whoever, are going to help you figure out where your two fingers will go, your index finger and the middle finger, and then you want to have the size of the hole fit your little fingers, or big fingers, whatever size fingers you have, bigger fingers. And yeah, and then they're going to have to use some scissors. I actually even used a little box cut tool to start the circle because this paper is a little thicker. That's why they're not a perfect circle, but the more you play in it, then they will get better all the time. See, if you put your thumb, it looks like one little web foot's too short. So yeah, that's it. That is how you will make your own duckling treat this week, and stay tuned. We will be back in another week for another great adventure of Storytime at Belgrade Public Library. Bye-bye.